and gentlemen, welcome once again to The Q. No Cell Entertainment's movie review podcast No, I just can't do it. This is not Godzilla. This is not Godzilla. This is not Godzilla.
Calm your titties.
It is Godzilla 1998.
That is the name of the movie, but the creature in this movie is not fucking Godzilla.
Not even close.
No, but we do sound a little bit differently this week, don't we?
A little bit.
Thanks to our friend Nick from the Odd Ones podcast. Check him out on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. For letting us borrow his microphone. You might eventually hear from here on this podcast as well. We're working on some things down the road, hopefully, to kind of work between us. So thank you, Yamcha, for letting us borrow this. But yeah, a new mic. Big booming sound to follow this big booming piece of shit monster that doesn't even represent the classic, iconic voice of a generation, the Onitoshi Jeff Beck.
I had to fight the temptation to punch you there.
Why? Because you're not the Sheen Machine, Joseph Lessel?
If I'm out of breath, I was roller skating once again down New York City, and this giant lizard iguana started chasing me.
Did it look like shitty CGI?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, it did.
And as always, producer Zen.
I brought some earthworms from Chernobyl.
Well, that would explain the glow. So yes, 1998 Godzilla.
Oy.
This movie is personally burrowed into my mind of hatred and rage. Because I am a huge fan of the actual Godzilla. The original 1950s Toho creation that's reach has spanned generations. There have been more Godzilla movies than I would even like to count at this point, including one that actually just came out last year in Shin Godzilla, which I really do want to see. I just haven't had a chance to see it yet. But growing up, Godzilla was an icon. He drew a lot of people into not only kind of the B-movie type side of things, where it's just a lot of fun, but for people like me who hadn't gotten into the anime side of things yet, it kind of brought me into Japanese movies and culture, and kind of opened the door, which would eventually turn me into the otaku I am today.
I liked watching the old Godzillas as well, but for me, it was for the bad dubbing.
Oh, the dubbing was awful.
As he says, "Oh no," but the lips are still moving. Sorry.
That was so classic. But there's two different types of Godzilla movies. There's the serious Godzilla movies. The original, the latest American version, which, contrary to popular opinion, I actually am a big fan of.
I really liked it.
Popular opinion is that it wasn't good?
Yeah, actually, that thing gets slammed online a lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the monster enough.
Wait. You don't see the monster enough?
Yes.
This movie is 2 hours and I think 16 minutes long.
Yes.
How long do you think Godzilla, or the iguana, is in this movie?
Zilla, as he is commonly referred to among Godzilla fans.
Yeah. Okay, how long?
I believe it's 15 minutes.
Zen?
I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to say 40
Both
minutes.
wrong. 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Wow.
I remember it's somewhere around there, yeah.
11 minutes.
I mean,
in a 2-hour movie.
You don't actually see Zilla for about, 36 minutes, I want to say, before he first makes an appearance on film.
Sure.
Which is actually much sooner,
We're
I believe,
talking
than
full body. We're
Yeah.
not talking
yeah,
about like
the little,
the teaser.
the bumps, or the claw that goes through the ship or anything like that. But there's the serious ones, and there's the fun-hearted stuff that you got in a lot in the 1970s.
Robozilla or whatever.
Mechagodzilla. When you had the Kid Godzilla.
Does he go down to space?
Yes. There's a few times he goes into space. There's also one time that he curls up like a nautilus and flings himself backwards using his breath, but that was just really fucking cool. And there was a Godzilla dropkick.
I only watched Godzilla 1998 because of the Puff Daddy Jimmy Page song.
Oh, you mean where they ruined one of the greatest rock songs of all time in Kashmir by Led Zeppelin?
I like it.
I hate it. with a passion. Almost as much as I hate this movie. But we need to get into this movie or else I'm going to sit here for 3 hours just acting like an old man whose childhood has been murdered.
It'd be
So,
fun.
reminds me of
how is
when I
that
watched this movie.
different than any other night?
Got him. We're 5 minutes in. You got him.
I mean, it is the reason people listen to this show.
For the burns.
They do listen for the birds, let's face it. But anyways, this movie was directed by Roland Emmerich. You rat bastard. There's the problem with Roland Emmerich. I am a big fan of some of his movies. The original Independence Day is a lot of fun. I haven't watched the second one yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
Stargate.
That's a cute movie.
Stargate. I liked Stargate back in the day.
I liked it but I didn't understand it. I thought the graphics were cool back in that day.
The Patriot is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
Jeff, I'm going to be honest.
yeah.
I don't know who this guy is. I know the movies he's done. I like some of them.
Yeah.
But as you're about to go on a rant about him, I have no idea who the hell he is.
So Roland Emmerich, I mean, he is a summer blockbuster director. That's his kind of bread and butter. His main calling card being, he likes to blow shit up. He was like Michael Bay's spirit animal. But the problem is, when they started production on this movie, Toho gave their blessing and said, here's the thing. You must follow these guidelines of Godzilla.
And I have them if you...
Please.
Guidelines are this. Zilla cannot eat people, only fish. He has to have three rows of dorsal plates.
Dorsal,
yep. No more or less than 3 toes on his feet and 4 fingers on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot be made to look silly. Yeah. He cannot die in the movie. So...
Do they follow any of that?
None.
I mean, well, we'll
They
talk
made
about
they
it.
made him be able to run really fast.
Yeah, so-
and that is the...
How many... Okay, when you watch the old Godzilla movies...
Yeah, he's slow as shit.
Yeah, speed wasn't a thing, but no, we had to streamline him because we're getting to the Y2K year 2000.
And like, yeah, he has a long arm reach in this movie.
Which
like-
is completely and utterly stupid.
Zilla has like a T-Rex arm length, but in this one, he has like a Larry Johnson from the Knicks type.
He went from
Marcus
T-Rex,
Camby
yeah,
to
to
Marcus
Marcus
Camby.
Camby. But the movie stars Matthew McConaughey.
What?
Not Matthew McConaughey, sorry, Matthew Broderick.
All right.
Matthew Broderick, who's...
You know how much cooler this movie would be? He would see Godzilla and be like, all right.
But no, the problem is, the character was literally written for Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, he signed on even before he read the full script.
And the other big name actor here is Jean Reno, whom most people know from The Professional and other great movies. He's a really good actor.
He's that actor that I've seen him in movies, but I can't name you any of those movies.
Also, half of the voice acting cast from The Simpsons. This is actually the project that has the most Simpsons voice actors that is not actually The Simpsons.
Wow.
But the plot for this red-shrimp piece...
Who's the main chick?
The main actress, Audrey, is played by Maria Patillo, who actually did a lot of movies early on, like Natural Born Killers and True Romance.
Never heard of her,
in
never
the
seen her.
early 90s, but that was about it.
I would have appreciated if, Jennifer Aniston or Parker Posey did this role instead of her.
Even Sarah Jessica Parker, like it was alleged to happen.
I would have been okay with that.
But anyways, the plot for this wretched piece of shit goeth thusly.
Piece of shit movie. And that's the plot.
Pretty much. A giant reptilian monster surfaces, leaving destruction in its wake. To stop the monster and its babies, spoiler alert,
Say what?
an earthworm scientist, his reporter ex-girlfriend, and other unlikely heroes team up to save their city. Wow, that's completely false.
I mean, it's kind of true.
I mean...
Is it Street King level?
It's close. Most of the time they're not teaming up, they're yelling at each other or not even in the same scene. B, he's a nuclear scientist, not an earthworm scientist. She's not a reporter yet.
Ish.
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
She's a real bitch.
She's a real bitch.
This is a horrible synopsis of this movie.
It is.
Let's rip this thing a new one.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Also, this movie is 19 years old. So,
Spoilers!
yeah, we're covering this entire mother. So, look forward to this. And we start with good old patriotic nuclear testing footage. So, back in the 1950s, there was a lot of nuclear explosion testing done in the South Pacific, mainly in the Bikini Atoll. So there's a lot of stories about this, the horrible things they did to the environment, this and that and the other thing. So this is actually the one part of the story that is close to what the actual mythos is. Godzilla being created by the existence of nuclear weapons, basically, and nuclear energy. So I give them credit for that. The problem is they focus a lot on iguanas and Komodo dragons,
Yep.
almost to a bad extent. I mean, just really, really focusing on the lizards. And you kind of tell where they're going with this. It's already kind of fucked up.
Yep.
You immediately know that this movie is going down a very lizardy road.
But the problem isn't the fact that it's a lizardy road. I mean, that was always part of the makeup of Godzilla. It's going down a too realistic road.
Right.
It's going to try to make us believe Godzilla is a thing that can actually exist in time and space. Already ruining the entire thought process of Godzilla.
Right.
But anyways, it'll get stomped on even more later on.
So we've seen this kind of movie beginning or intro before in Catwoman and
Catwoman, I, if you want to, even to a little bit of extent, the opening monologue from Barbed Wire. But
so who did it better?
Barbed Wire.
I actually give a lot of credit to this movie for some of the intro, except for the fact it focuses too much on the lizards. I like the rest of the feel of it. Actually, something that was done a lot in the was it 2014?
Yeah.
The 2014 version
Yep.
of Godzilla. It was a very similar intro, except for they didn't focus so much on the fucking lizards.
Comparing it to the 2014 one, it is like I honestly thought it was the same footage from 2014.
Some of it,
But some of it, I think it
definitely
is.
seemed to be the same.
But there seems to be a giant egg, and lightning hits it, and it takes us straight to the South Pacific. And it's a storm brewing as a Japanese fishing vessel floats through the ocean. You can tell it's Japanese because the captain of the boat is eating soba noodles and watching sumo wrestling on Nippon television.
You know, that's what Japanese people like to do on their spare time.
I mean, have you ever watched sumo? It's fucking awesome.
Have you ate yakisoba noodles before? They're amazing.
This week.
Yeah.
But anyways, sirens start going off as a large something is approaching the ship. Everybody takes their stations and they're not sure what's happening, but it's getting closer and it's about to make contact. Eventually the ship is struck, and some of the crew members look very familiar.
A couple of them.
Mainly because why, Joe?
They were both in Big Trouble Little China.
Yeah, a couple of the extras here are actually extras from Big Trouble in Little China, which is bloody hilarious, because there's always a connection.
One way or another. I know Can't Stop the Music didn't have any. And
Were we not able to find one?
No.
we weren't. That's why we tried.
There's like maybe out of the 37 movies we have done, maybe 2 to 5, I want to say, does not have a connection.
And we will find a way, folks. We will find a way. We don't try
We don't
when we
try.
pick the movies.
No,
we
not
just
at
try
all.
afterwards to see if it exists.
Yeah.
When we found this connection, or at least when Joe pointed it out to me, I yelled, "God damn it," because I was not expecting that.
Like legit 5 minutes
Yeah.
into the movie, I went, connection.
Now, if we could do it next week, I will be massively surprised.
Probably not, but
But anyways,
But there's a chance.
there's always a chance. So as the object strikes the boat, you hear these weird noises. Almost kind of classic in its sound.
Yes.
And then a giant claw pierces the hull.
A claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a giant claw.
What do you think it was? His face? Here's Zilla.
Nope, giant claw goes right through the side of the ship. The ship starts to sink, and then the bridge of the ship is taken out by a gigantic lizardy tail. And with that, we cut to, well, a nerd singing show tunes in a Jeep in the rain.
He's driving illegally, first off. Driving with headphones on? Come on.
It is Russia. Actually, it's the Ukraine, to be perfectly honest. Chernobyl, to be precise. Where there is literally nobody because, fuck tons of nuclear radiation.
Yeah, which brings up a really good point. Why was he wearing actual, radiation gear or having a
Geiger counter?
Geiger counter.
Because he's a fucking moron. Also, there has been quite a delusion of, delusions, I think, what I'm looking for. There's a far less level of radiation now than there was 20 years ago at that point, or 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, almost, I think we are now. Where are we at? I'm trying to remember when Chernobyl happened, but it was about 30 years ago, we'll say.
And
welcome to Chernobyl time.
I must say that Matthew Broderick must have said, oh great, I'll be in this movie, but I have to be able to sing.
Yes. Show tunes, to be precise, singing in the rain. And so he's in Chernobyl, and he has these electrodes that he puts in the ground, and he uses it to unearth earthworms. It causes them to all come to the top where he collects them. And as he's collecting his earthworms, a giant plane, or was it it was a helicopter. Helicopter flies down, and out comes the Russian military, and a couple of other guys who can't pronounce his last name. Totopoulos, it's not that hard.
Well, I can't say it.
Totopoulos?
Totopoulos?
Yeah. There you go.
All right, cool, I can.
But I'll say, get it right, it's the name of the fucking producer. My one cent is why give him a bad name to do an ongoing joke, which is not funny, by the way. None of their jokes in this movie is funny. They try to do the one-liner. They try to do a little, haha, that's funny moment. And I'm just looking at it going, uh-huh.
This movie has plenty of things that would not be as accepted now. So, a racist joke about a person's last name being difficult to pronounce doesn't fly quite as well anymore.
Not really.
But there are other things in this movie that they continue to try to do, and you're like, whoa, 1998, calm down.
Oh, trust me, we'll get to a couple of those. But it's not only the Russian military that's here, there's also some representatives from the United States government. And they tell Nick that he has been reassigned. And from here we go to Tahiti.
How do they find, if it's the Russian government or whoever,
Yeah.
how did they find him, boom, oh, hey, there he is.
Because he had a permit probably to go into that section. Because remember he was starting to talk about how he has a permit?
Yeah, I don't think that they would go too far into finding a permit to find this guy.
Well, when it comes to this type of thing, you just might, actually. But we go to Tahiti, where the French, you can tell because they're speaking French, seem to have found a survivor from the fishing vessel. And Jean Reno's character tries to get through with the man using lighter hypnosis.
Burn him.
What the hell?
They're going to burn him, right?
The guy will not speak until Jean Reno takes out a lighter, waves a flame in front of his face all
What
of
did
a
you
sudden,
see?
and the old man, who was, I think was the ship's chef, says one word over and over again. Godzilla. Godzilla.
Pretty sure that's not how he said it in the movie, but okay.
He went, Godzilla! Godzilla!
He never said Godzilla.
Yes, he did!
He never said Godzilla.
Oh, he did.
You know why? Because it doesn't exist in the Japanese language. It's Godzilla.
Okay.
That's not how he said it, Jeff.
It is I had to replay it to make sure.
That is not how he said it.
I guarantee you he said Gojira.
Gojira. Nope.
I trust me, I went
Can we
back
just
and replayed it.
Can we just all agree that this movie sucks.
Yes.
Yes, but now we're going to tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Because you know where we have to go?
Where?
Panama!
Yeah.
So Nick shows up in Panama, and there are two things prevalent here in Panama: the military
Worms?
and reporters. There's a lot of reporters here. Nick doesn't know why. There's also a very large government influence. He doesn't know why. They all have Geiger counters, though. That should probably tip you off on why you're here, but still. We find out that Nick's study of the Chernobyl earthworms has shown that the fallout from the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl has caused a mutation in the earthworms, causing them to grow 17% larger. Which only means better fishing.
Damn it, you took my joke.
I had a hunch I would. But screw that. You are here for another reason. We have something for you to study. Okay, what is it? Well, you're standing in it. And that's when you get the pull away, and he's standing in a giant footprint.
After way too long of him questioning, I don't see anything.
I don't see anything.
Where is
I don't
it?
see anything.
Oh, God, it's the character's so fucking annoying.
All these characters are annoying.
Then we meet the rest of the team.
The ragtag team.
A couple more scientists and whatnot. And they get to see the footage from the French about the old man and the only survivor in the footage of the ship. And with this, they pull out to the outside where we follow the footprints and transition into Manhattan.
First off, I kind of see the similarities. I'm going to go to 2014. That they do that whole airplane, little foot tracks. And now we're going to Manhattan, right?
Yes.
So in this movie, when they introduce a new country or something, it's Panama, South Pacific Ocean, New York, the city that never sleeps.
Yes.
They don't say New York, they just say the city that never sleeps.
All in that Matrix green typeset.
Yep.
The fuck with that.
By the way, what do you notice weather-wise when we first see New York? I mean, it's a little overcast, but it's still pretty clear.
Rain?
No.
What?
When it's just the shot when they first show it.
Oh, the two towers.
No, it's just clear weather.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden now it's raining cats and dogs.
The entire movie is raining cats and dogs.
Yes, except for that one shot of why. I don't know why they couldn't have had a rainy shot.
Because the two towers are still up and they wanted to show it.
We'll get into that. And so we then go to Channel 12, where we meet our main female love interest, Audrey.
I hate her.
Yes, who is annoying as fuck within a minute of meeting this character.
Should I go talk to him? I'm gonna go see. No, he's having a bad day. Don't talk to the dude. But she goes and talks to the main anchor for Channel 12. Was it Charles Caven?
Yep.
Yes.
And immediately we get the overall emphasis of Channel 12, sexual harassment.
Yep. Sexual harassment. We welcome it.
Sleep with him and you get to the top, babe.
I mean, isn't that how it always works?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, that's how I got this job. I mean, Joe, you lied to me!
Both of you both blame me. I'm a man whore. What do you expect?
And with this, we go to Jamaica.
Jamaica me crazy. Slapper the bears.
And we get some infield flirting between the redheaded doctor and Nick. Well, basically, she wants the D.
herself.
She's just basically going, raw dog me, please. And he's like, no.
She wants the D. And here we come across a second boat. We know it can't be the first boat, right?
Right.
It has to be another boat.
Correct.
The reason is, I don't know, because we're on the other side of a continent.
Yes, which I really struggled with that in this movie, how all of a sudden we went from the South Pacific and it is moving into the Atlantic Ocean without anyone noticing, just boats appearing.
Yeah, that's kind of something they would think. But yeah, it just went right across Central America from the Pacific into the Caribbean. Okay. And yeah.
And no one saw anything.
No one saw anything.
I'm not a big map guy.
And it didn't cause any, like, seismic action or any tsunamis.
We'll get into the seismic part of this eventually.
I was going to say, I'm not a big map guy. And all I know is with Mr. Nick here going from, Panama to Jamaica to New York.
Yes.
In the matter of hours?
I mean, it has to take days.
Not in this movie. It's like hours. It's like, well, it's 10 a.m. in Panama. Nick, topple skin, foreskin, I need you here in South Korea. Let's go there. That's a 2-hour flight. From South Korea, we go back to Jamaica. That is about a half an hour drive. And then they go, okay, we need to get to New York. Let's just boat there. And that takes about 10 minutes.
Where the fuck did you get South Korea?
I don't know.
I actually know.
Signs?
No.
Oh.
Because, okay, so at the boat they find all these cans of tuna.
Yeah, tuna by the sea.
Most of it's bumblebee tuna.
Is it chicken
except
by
for
the
the
sea?
one can that he picks up, which is Korean.
What up? What up?
There is no way Joe knew that.
Oh, I knew that.
Good job,
you knew
Joe.
that?
I knew that.
How did you know?
I just know.
Oh, okay.
But I'll say it was obviously Korean typeface on there. It was the Korean language.
Drink it in,
question
man.
How did the Korean can of tuna end up in Jamaica? Well, unless he barfed it back up after.
They might have bobsled it.
Anyways, we also see here that the French are here, posing as insurance adjusters.
Well, at this point, we don't know that they're posing as anything. We think they're insurance people.
Jeff, in this scene...
Yeah, who just happen to be able to hypnotize people with lighters.
Jeff, in this scene... So, they drive up to the second boat.
Yes.
And then you see there's helicopters flying in. What's fake in this scene? Both? Or the helicopters or the ship?
Yes.
I think it's both.
I'm going to go with yes.
Yep.
Yeah, shitty graphics.
Shitty graphics. But one thing Nick is able to get off of the boat is a little bit of flesh that was left behind by whatever attacked it. We then go to the eastern seaboard. And somewhere there are 3 fishing boats pulling their nets trying to get the catch of the day. And eventually they start getting pulled backwards. And then pulled under.
Bum, bum, bum.
Luckily, it appears most of everybody survives, and one of the boats does pop back up out of the water, so they have something to hold on to. This news gets to our team as they are flying somewhere. I don't know if they actually have a destination at this point.
They're just flying around, waiting for the next place to show up.
And Dr. Chapman, the redheaded doctor, thinks that this is all done by an ancient dinosaur that has just been revealed. And that idea is stupid.
Is it because she's a woman?
No, because of the...
Excuse me?
I just let that one sit out there in the ether for you there, Joe.
Yeah, I have a rebuttal to that one. She's a ginger.
Okay.
Okay.
That I'm okay with.
Wow! Zen set the bar low.
It's 2017, baby. You're going to be saying a lot of things you didn't have done before.
So anyways, Nick says, yeah, I don't think it's a dinosaur, because, the shit tons of radiation coming off of the samples we found. What this is appears to be some sort of hybrid that was created by nuclear testing, because you can already figure out that from where it came from. It's in the South Pacific, around the Bikini Atoll. And this is some sort of hybrid that's never existed before, and it's the first of its kind, and we're all fucked.
Yup.
You know why?
This movie sucks.
No, because this movie's 2 hours and 12 minutes long.
Oi.
Yeah.
So back to the city that doesn't sleep. Audrey and the Pilates. They are at a diner doing New York things. They eat here. And she looks on the TV and sees her college sweetheart, who happens to be Nick.
Yes, of course. Plot convenience.
Literally He's on TV screen for 10 seconds.
And she just happens to see it.
Oh, it's Nick Topolapa!
Really, Joe? You know how to say the goddamn name.
I forgot it already.
Totopoulos.
Totopoulos.
Did you have any trouble with this when you watched Full House?
You did. No, I did not.
Okay.
Cut it out.
But anyways, that's all that scene's good for.
Yeah, and also introducing more annoying characters. I mean, what's her face's friend?
Oh, Audrey's... I can never remember...
Lucy?
I think it's Lucy. I'm not sure.
I'm going to be honest. The only name I remembered from this movie was Nick. And that's easy.
Well, I remember Animal. Because that one was kind of easy to remember.
Who?
What was his nickname, though?
Yeah, this is his nickname. Victor's the actual name of the character.
Oh, Hank?
It is Lucy. Lucy Pelosi.
Lucy was so annoying.
Yeah, it's like that friend, but not turned up all the way. It's just New York.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it's like the same thing we're starting to see in all of these movies that we've been watching. The annoying friend that's a sidekick that just has to steal the scene.
Who has to be funny, but it's not.
Yeah. It was almost as bad as Catwoman.
Almost. Not quite.
Not quite there. She wasn't on the screen enough.
This is very true. We got more of Victor than we do his wife.
Yes.
And then we go to the East River. So, I mean, they're unpacking the day's fish at the market and stuff like that. And an old guy goes out on the dock and goes fishing.
Run, old guy!
Homeless guy.
Old guy casts his line out there and it's got a bite. Dang, it's a big one. He's reeling. This thing is just fighting for all it's worth.
He's so adorable, too.
No, he's not. Go on. I will.
Whatever he has rips the pole out of his hands.
Big fish.
Whatever it is coming closer and closer, and you see the two back kind of plates off of Zilla arise from the water. He finally starts to turn around and run.
No. So Godzilla or Zilla is rising from the water and he's getting bigger and bigger. This old fart is just standing there going, oh, oh, oh. And then by the time Zilla hits the first piece of wood on the dock, the old guy turns around and like, I gotta run. Run. He's going to die. You know how he survives this run? CGI.
Because Zilla is approaching that dock at a pretty damn good speed.
I want to say 200 miles per hour because that's how fast they made him in this fucking movie.
The old man is still able to outrun him on the dock as it explodes.
Yeah.
This is just horribly done.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. I mean, not to mention that an animal that size would cause way more disturbance in the ocean or river, whatever the fuck it was. Causing the waves to come crashing down before the guy even has a chance to get off that pier.
Very true. But eventually, Zilla makes landfall. We can tell this from the giant footprints. As cars get smashed, boats rain down on the highway, people get squashed, and a truck loaded with fish gets bitten into. Okay, now this. We go to a political stop for the mayor of New York, who is up for re-election. And the mayor of New York is, he's Ebert. From Siskel and Ebert.
Well, yeah, they named him Ebert, and they have the...
his compatriot.
Compatriot is...
Gene. Gene Siskel.
Because they did this before the movie to suck up to them.
Or to make fun of them, because they give them bad reviews on some of the other stuff.
Yeah, both.
Pandering to the crowd?
Yeah.
Yes, and they both gave it a thumbs down, because Ebert's photo of his mayor photo is with a thumbs up.
I'll say, the whole thing about this re-election is giving the city a thumbs up, or giving him a thumbs up.
But they gave it both thumbs down and called it one of the worst movies of 1998.
Do you know the other gigantic problem with this is?
What?
They're from fucking Chicago!
Yeah.
They both wrote for papers in fucking Chicago. Why the hell would they be in politics in New York City?
I don't know.
That's a good question, Jeff.
I hate this movie.
This movie is poo-poo.
But Zilla, as he makes his way into the city, his steps are so powerful they cause a seismic force that causes cars to jump in the air. Sometimes.
But only when he's within 10 feet?
Something like that. But only sometimes when he's inside
Only
that range.
sometimes, yeah.
Also, able to lift vehicles off the ground, not able to knock people off their feet. Does anybody else see the problem here?
Physics.
There's so many that I can't even list them.
Well, are we going back to the restaurant where dumb bitches?
Not yet, because we have to go to the news office first.
Okay.
Because, okay, so the political rally gets dispersed because, Zilla. And we go to channel 12 where Jackass is on the phone. Cayman. And he's like, I gotta find a new story because there's nothing here. And the shitty CGI Zilla walks across the window.
And the secretary's like, sir, you might want to look outside. And he looks outside, nothing. Yeah. Turns around, is like, you dumb cow. I don't know, why do you make me turn around? And then as he turns back to yell at her, the rest of Zilla comes up.
The shitty tail of Zilla goes past. So now we go back to the restaurant.
Okay. Did you catch the line that the friend said?
No.
So everything is shaking. The building's shaking.
Well, it takes them a while to figure it out. Because, okay, I get it. New Yorkers do their own thing. Pretty sure they would notice the seismic event and not think it's a goddamn parade.
Yeah, thank you. What, is a parade going on outside?
No. There are literally earthquakes happening right now in your city.
This is really funny. In my notes, I wrote down, a parade? Is she stupid? And
yes.
So I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought that.
What the hell?
No, they don't figure it out until they see the shitty knockoff of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. By the way, that's where they got the whole seismic thing. Cause, that was a really cool scene in Jurassic Park. We should do the same thing, but not follow through on it and actually follow fucking science when we try to make our lizard look too real.
Even in the trailers, they do size doesn't matter or something like size does matter. And they're taking shots at Jurassic Park.
Well, let's talk about that scene. So, in Zilla's mash through New York City, one of the scenes in one of the original trailers was his foot coming through the ceiling of, I believe, the Natural History Museum.
Yes.
And stomping the skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yep.
Do you know how much that scene cost to make?
I do. I looked it up.
How much, Joe?
$600,000.
Oh my god.
Did that make the movie?
No.
Yeah, they cut it.
Wow.
Yeah, they fucked this up so bad. But anyways, Victor grabs his camera and chases Zilla. And he's pounding the tape, trying to get it. Eventually he figures out, gently press the tape, close the door, now film the dinosaur that's about to eat
nowadays
my ass.
it'd be your phone or your GoPro or...
But no, back then it was videotapes.
Yeah, none of that anymore.
And just as he's getting his shot, Zilla's foot comes down on him, and he's dead.
That is the only scene I can remember that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because of, oh no.
Oh, by the way, he landed between Zilla's toes, and he's just fine.
His 3 toes?
Yes. Okay. They got that part technically where, because they put the fourth one off the back. Yeah, it's fucking ass.
I honestly thought when I saw Zilla that I was going to see, dick and balls. Because almost every angle that they show him, it's the gooch shot.
They do a lot of gooch shots.
They got that.
But no, because we'll get into that. But anyways, we then go to New Jersey.
Why? Because do we want to go there?
That's where they set up base because nobody wants to be in New York where the giant reptile, eats the city. And Nick and his team arrive. The military general, the colonel involved in control of this entire situation, gets word that, we lost the giant dinosaur.
How?
It's New York. There's a lot of places to hide. Yeah. So, that's good. Then we go back to Channel 12. Everybody's packing up to relocate to their sister station in New Jersey. and Audrey sees Nick again on the television.
Okay.
Oh,
it's Nick. Nick Toffer Waffle. But the funny thing is, like, every time she sees him, the camera is always on him.
Yes.
And then he's in a car.
Yes.
As the passenger. And for some reason, both times she saw him, it's like a extreme zoom in on him.
When he's walking from like the plane to the tent.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there he is. Zoom in on that guy. Who's this guy?
He's a guy who kind of looks like that dude from Broadway.
Does this guy have a day off or something?
He might. He doesn't get any days off here. So I was just like, I got an idea. If he's inside on this, I could talk to him and maybe get an inside scoop on this story. Oh, Cayman, what do you think about this? Ha ha!
You're dumb.
You are a female and
Silly
inferior.
woman.
You're a female in a working business.
I really wanted to punch this guy in the face.
I wouldn't know anything.
I wish he would have died.
No, he's surprised.
But he can't, because Godzilla can't kill anyone.
Even though he's killed probably about 30, 40 people in this movie so far. So far. But what she does before he leaves is steal his press pass.
She's a sneaky one.
And then, in the chopper on the way to New Jersey...
Get to the chopper!
Cayman says a very interesting line, now, in hindsight. What he says is that the officials in the city are calling this the worst act of destruction since the World Trade Center bombing.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that one.
We kind of have to discuss that one. So, for those of you who are younger in our audience, or those of you who just don't remember... there was a actual bombing at the World Trade Center, I want to say in 1995, which actually caused a couple of deaths and caused mass destruction to the parking structure and low levels of the World Trade Center. I believe the South Tower, you don't quote me on that.
Let me quote you on that one.
And it was actually a very big story for a while. Kind of got not a huge amount of play as there wasn't a ton of deaths or anything like that, and there was a couple other things that came up. Shortly afterwards, that kind of knocked it out of the news. And then, of course, 2001 happened, and nobody remembers what happened in 95. It's an unfortunate thing nowadays to kind of go back and it's like, oh, yeah, that. Nobody remembers that. And that's kind of sad, because it was actually a big deal there for a little bit. But anyways...
I like that that's where you went with it. Joe and I went a different route.
Which was,
well...
Never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing to happen to the World Trade Center.
And
up
then
to that
Up
point.
to that point, yes. It was actually one of the...
I giggled.
It was one of the biggest attacks on American soil. At that point, it was the biggest to be replaced a couple years later with Oklahoma City.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyways...
Back to the shitty movie.
Interesting thing to...
Can we not talk about this shitty movie anymore?
No, we have to talk about it for at least another 20, 30 hours. I have a lot
Sorry,
of... I have 13 pages of notes, just so you know, for this movie.
Sorry, listeners.
But anyways...
This is a 4-hour podcast.
Well, it is over 2-hour movie. And we have not caught up yet.
Let's do some skim notes.
Here's the thing.
Skimming.
No. Eventually, we find out that the evacuation... Okay, so we're evacuating Manhattan. In most of New York City at this point, correct?
Are we really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's going surprisingly well.
Yeah, it went very smoothly for... Compared to other movies where they try to evacuate a city last minute, it never goes well. We get scenes of bridges being clogged up, all of the entrances to the city being blocked off, or blocked off by cars, I should say. This one went relatively smooth.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that because of the fact that during this movie, people got food from restaurants, people went to little mini markets, people were at other people's apartments, and honestly, I was like, okay.
Again, for a city of, millions, it went well.
According to this movie, there's 3 million right now.
In Manhattan alone.
Yeah.
Let alone the other boroughs. So, at this point, the mayor arrives in New Jersey, and he meets our friends from the insurance agency. And this is where Jean Reno plants a bug on the mayor. Our French friends have now set up shop inside of a UPS van. And that's where they're following everything that's going on. And one guy brings in breakfast. Some donuts, because no croissants?
No croissants.
And coffee, which they say is shit. They complain about the coffee a lot.
1998, 2 coffee jokes in this movie.
Yes.
Not funny. There's 3?
There's 3.
Man.
All not funny.
Also a croissant joke, because French.
All not funny.
And this is where we find that the military has more bad news.
I'm afraid I have some bad news.
It appears Zilla figured out that he can burrow through the subway tunnels.
Hurrah!
So, yeah, okay. So, wait, that means he can get off the island.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. We just have to fill up all of the ways that get off the island. How many tunnels get off the island? 18. Shit. Luckily, he never leaves the island. He's just nice enough not to do that.
He's a good guy.
At this point, Nick points out that, wait, this isn't an enemy. This isn't a soldier. This isn't an army. This is an animal. And an animal can be drawn out. All you have to do is find out what it needs. Animals need food. And what does this thing eat?
Fish.
Human.
Lots and lots of fish.
And they put that together because they find a few fish in one of the holes.
I mean, they also found the tuna cans earlier, and he did attack a fishing vessel. So with this, we get a convoy of dump trucks and helicopters to send the plan. And our plan is we're going to go to this intersection in Manhattan and create a giant pile of fish. Once the giant lizard thing is taken to the fish, we're going to blow it the fuck up.
Sounds like America.
That's a plan.
But right now, it smells a little fishy, Jeff.
Yeah, a little bit. So, they start to do the plan. Nick's there, and he's like, wow, that's a lot of fish.
Not funny.
So,
Not funny.
One of the...
That is the classic line from this film, by the way.
One
Not funny.
of the soldiers, that's the point person, the only
O'Neill.
soldier that we talk to, O'Neill.
Yes.
Why did they give him a stutter?
That's a very fucking good question. Because he needed a personality.
And he uses...
And a stutter is a personality?
That's a
And
character
he
trait.
uses it for like a minute. He goes, and then I was like, don't know what to do right now. And then he's fine the rest of the scene. Cut scene, go back to him. But, like, why? No, don't, no. And stop it.
I just don't get why you would give it to a soldier character. I could see if they would have given it to maybe the assistant to the redhead.
You mean the one with the cold?
Yes.
Because that was his character trope?
Yeah. Why not give... Shit. Why not give him a cold and a stutter? Then you would have really felt bad for him.
Also, this is how well character development went in this film. A guy with a stutter and a guy with a fucking cold. Good job. But anyways, by the way, Nick is saying this, standing next to a giant pile of fish with the disposable camera he got out of a vending machine. Okay, 90s.
What are those, Jeff?
So, back in the day when we didn't have, digital photography, you had film. And for fun times like vacations and parties and whatnot, you had cameras that were one-use cameras that generally had about 20 to 35 shots that you would then get developed after you were finished with it. I still have one of these.
That you haven't taken pictures with?
I've taken pictures with it. I've never had it developed.
Okay.
There are pictures of Minnesota. We don't talk about Minnesota. But anyways, they wait, and nothing happens. And then Nick gets the idea, oh, it's because he can't smell the fish. Let's undo the manhole covers, which will let the aroma of 6 billion fish seep through the subway tunnels full of sewage and shit.
So for some reason, this is the only scene that I really remember watching when this movie came out. I don't know why.
For me, it's always the later part of the movie that I always remember.
Nope.
No,
Mine is the fish scene and uncovering the manholes.
But it works.
Weird. I don't remember. The only scene I remember is when Hank gets stepped on and gets missed.
Mine has to do with a certain place we go to a little bit later on.
Okay.
That's actually because of a copy of Mad Magazine, funny enough. But anyways,
Mad Magazine.
He hears Zilla down in the, as they release the last manhole cover, because, you know, it's the last one he goes to that obviously gets to Zilla. And then, okay, the street tears with the sound of fabric.
Thank you, I got jeans. Like,
yeah.
You're tearing your jeans apart? That's how a street sounds like. I never knew that.
No. And then it explodes with the sound of metal? I don't know.
This movie sucks.
And this is where we get our first full view of Zilla. And it is the drizzling shits.
Donkey balls.
Did you love how when he came out, he looked jacked?
Shit.
It's like he had abs
He
and
looked like
guns.
it looked like he had beef with the guy, the cameraman. He's just flexing, like
Yeah.
he's flexing his sheen.
Zilla wanted that sheen.
And he's like, "What up, bro? You got some beef with me?"
That's exactly what he looked like. The way he came out of there, too, was just like, you want to fight?
But here's the... Okay, Zilla is so off, it's ridiculous. It looks nowhere near correct. He stays flat most of the time. The head's too long and tries to look too much like an actual iguana.
Yeah,
What are you talking about? He is never flat. He's always on two legs.
No.
Okay, think of how he looks when he's on two legs. He's always leaned forward.
Okay.
The only time he stands upright is when he's humping that building.
But that's not being flat, Jeff.
He is the hunchback of Zilla.
Notice this compared to standard Toho Godzilla.
Think of 2014. He's standing up at all times. This one, he has a hunchback.
Or, we'll get into some other stuff that's fucking stupid about this fucking dinosaur. But anyways, Nick takes a picture.
Why?
That was smart.
Why would you do that? Why
Take
would
the
you put the
flash
flash on? Don't push the button in.
And Zilla comes down and says hi, but doesn't take a bite. And he goes for the fish. And, okay.
Matthew Broderick has like a little love session with this animal.
Oh, they have a connection.
Like all of a sudden he's just enthralled in Godzilla.
Oh, trust... A, never call this thing Godzilla.
Zilla.
B, yeah, there's a really weird connection. It gets worse later on. But eventually the military's like, oh yeah, we were supposed to shoot this thing.
Shoot it down!
And they open fire. And every single shot misses. It's a giant fucking 100-foot lizard.
Who has Neo moves of dodging bullets.
All it does is duck. And it blows up the building behind it.
It's a very smart animal. This is also the beginning of something that I hate.
Oh!
That I hate in these types of movies.
What's that?
The animal always follows the streets.
It does for a lot of this, doesn't it?
It goes where the roads are. It goes down alleyways. It never just, a few times it went through buildings, but it never just plows a path of destruction.
I would say...
Path of least resistance.
I just want to say before we move on to the next scene. Did you notice the fish emoji that the army has?
Yes.
It's like, really? A fish emoji on the radar?
Yeah, I'm about to say, it was off of an Atari 2600 game, I'm pretty sure.
If you watch this movie, in the radar, when they're trying to track him, there's a fish emoji dead center. Like, this is the bait.
At least they had that. I mean,
yeah.
You know it's a fish.
Yeah. But the next scene, so Zilla starts running through the street.
Just beating the shit out of the army.
You know what it reminded me of?
What was
that? Sky Captain?
A little bit, but that's the part after this.
Oh, okay.
Because first there's the part where they're on the ground, they're getting their ass kicked. And...
Oh, yeah, he doesn't use his...
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. So Zilla has super breath, which is just basically really strong breath that can move things. And he breathes on an existing fire, creating it to go larger. A giant wave of fire takes out a whole bunch of the soldiers. Fuck you! No! That is not how this works. Godzilla has fucking atomic breath. And it is either blue or red, depending on which version of Godzilla. That's fine. Not fucking fire breath, or in this case, nothing at all. It just creates a larger fire of one that exists.
It's because, Jeff, the director and producer wanted this Godzilla to be this Zilla to be different.
Yes. Then don't make fucking Godzilla.
This shouldn't have
make
been
Cloverfield.
This shouldn't have been called Godzilla. There's no features at all to compare to Godzilla.
No, this is its own thing. Call it its own thing.
Yeah.
But no, because you want to take advantage of the license of the fans. Fuck you. Fuck you in the ass.
Calm your titties, Jeff. They're waving all around.
And they don't care, baby.
Just so angry. So angry.
And then we end this scene with the classic
Chop chase.
Big Sky Captain.
So we got our Sky Captain, which, by the way, that movie was really good.
No, it was not.
No.
Better than this, though.
And
Yes.
Zilla humps a building.
Well, first, he climbs on top of some buildings. They shoot at him with the heat-seeking missiles. Cold-blooded
Doesn't
lizard,
work.
by the way. Doesn't work. They blow up the fucking Chrysler building. Good job, guys. And then they are chasing him through. They think they have him cornered in a hole in a building. And they light that mother up. They light that candle.
But it's a trap.
Zilla crashes through
played.
crashes through the building behind him, takes out 2 of the 3 Apaches. The third one runs.
Apache.
Flying as fast as he can, gets away. Oh, I finally lost him. Zilla from underneath comes up and chomps the last helicopter. Well, they all died.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, remember when Zilla wasn't supposed to kill humans?
Yeah, he was not.
I think he just killed a shit ton.
Well, I don't think he did because of the fact that, they were in helicopters.
Yes.
So the helicopter first crushed them and killed them.
Okay, so this chopper killed him.
Yes.
Okay, I see where you're going there. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Back to New Jersey. I have a problem with that. And, okay, so Nick and Audrey meet up, finally, in a corner drugstore.
We're about an hour into the movie. Now the 2 lovebirds finally meet.
And Nick's buying a whole bunch of pregnancy tests. Oh, I see where this is
He
going.
knocked someone up.
So they talk, and Nick's still angry at her because she left without saying a fucking word. But you know what? People change. So, yeah, she guilt trips him into forgiving her. Does people change? And we go back to his tent, and he does some more research. And so they protested nuclear weapons in college.
And now he studies them.
Yes, to do change on the inside, because change is going to happen.
Change matters.
Change matters. So, yeah. Using store-bought pregnancy tests, Nick is able to determine that Zilla is pregnant.
There's so many assumptions at this point of the movie that I just throw my hands up. Like, when did we decide that Godzilla was a male, first off?
They just called him the entire time.
That's some patriarchal bullshit right there.
So you're saying it's reptilian, whatever the word is.
Sexism?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes it is.
Okay.
Also, because, wait, this is the only one that exists, obviously it's
a man.
It produces asexually.
Obviously.
So,
Apparently.
Joe,
Yep.
don't question its lifestyle choices. It just reproduces asexually.
What the hell?
So,
What's the fun in that, as our main actress said?
Still not funny.
still not funny. Nick takes things to the lab to do further research because, probably can't trust the home pregnancy test for humans on giant reptilian monsters. And here Audrey sees the footage from the French. She puts the tape in, watches it, it's like, oh, I gotta have this, steals it, and runs off.
Bitch.
Because she's no longer going to be too nice to have a career. She goes, they create a whole news package for it, they're about to play it, and, well, Cayman steals the story.
What the hell?
And changes the name of Gojira to Godzilla. She even yells, "He never said Godzilla, you idiots!" Which, actually, the entire casting crew had t-shirts made up of that line. But also in the story, they mentioned Nick by name. About being the source.
Oh, by name, you mean they had the helicopter camera on him, and then like a zoom-in angle of him when he's in the footprint.
Yes, and then they say his name, Nick Totopoulos.
Oh my god.
Or Nico Totopoulos, actually. So he gets kicked out of the entire thing. Audrey goes to console him and cover her ass and comes clean about everything that happened. And what did she never do here?
Apologize.
Yeah. What should she have done here?
Apologize.
So is she Linda Hogan?
Oh yeah, she's a real bitch.
So he gets in the cab and drives away. At this point, Victor's like, I'm going to talk some sense into him. So he steals a van and drives after Nick's cab, which is being driven by Philippe.
Say
Jean
what?
Reno. They go past the exit for the airport, down to the docks, and this is here where Philippe comes clean about the fact they're with the French Secret Service and that they need him to help go find the nest. And Victor sees it like, what the fuck?
I like the fact that, so, Jean-Luc Philippe parks and talks to Nico, and then they start driving away. Then Victor parks like 10 miles,
You're about to say a block away.
A couple blocks away. How does he know they're not going to be driving off somewhere else?
Because they were driving into a warehouse, I guess, at that point? I don't know. But inside there, we find out why the French are doing this. Why is this?
Because they're pussies.
Actually, no, it's because they were a big part of the nuclear testing and they want to clean up their mess, even though all of the footage used in that test footage at the beginning of the movie is from American nuclear testing, but that's another thing altogether.
That's a whole other thing.
So, yeah, Victor goes back home to his nice little house that's being occupied by about 75 people.
Lucy invited all of the homeless people in.
To have grilled cheese and tomato soup.
While they rock out to some heavy rock.
Indeed. And he goes in, grabs his camera, and tells Audrey, I'm going after Nick. We're going to clear his name. If you want to come.
Come with me if you want to live.
Stop being a whiny little bitch.
Yeah. But she won't.
So, Philippe and the French guys, they all pile in with Nick into their Jeep, and they drive through dressed up as American military men. And they get past the checkpoint because Philippe has a good impression of Elvis.
Well, thank you very much.
This was the only funny moment in the movie.
That actually
worked. Agree
worked.
on that?
That actually worked.
Yep.
It was a great surprise that he could pull off an American accent.
This is true.
And that it sounded like Elvis.
So everybody's going to, I want to say it's the East 23rd exit or tunnel.
Yes.
Of the New York subway system. And here, the French, Nick, Animal, and Audrey all find Zilla. They're like, oh yeah, we went to the right place. We should probably fucking follow him. Or at least the trail of fish. Because that's going to get us to the nest. Zilla, on the other hand, goes to Central Park. Where we have another fish trap set.
But this is a smart freaking creature.
He's like, there's a lot of lights again. There's the fish. And last time I did this,
It's a trap.
Fucking him out. He runs away. But here's this such giant swarm of helicopters, and there's artillery everywhere, and they have a trap set. But he just jumps over with all the artillery into the Hudson River.
You know what's funny about this?
Not creating a giant tidal wave.
Not one bit. He probably could go out for the Olympics because he does not make a splash. But he liked the good one, right?
That was a good one.
Yeah, I think it was a great one. Jeff, did you notice all the cars and tanks and stuff on the roofs?
Yes. Chopper did. Set down.
They have had.
Why?
In case it'll rain.
And when?
It's been like 3 days.
So if they start shooting tanks off the roof, won't that damage the building that they're on?
I mean, either damage the building beyond repair, or
I think 3 shots with a tank. I think with the sudden impact, it could probably make the roof collapse.
Or send the tank flying off of the roof.
That too.
That too.
Or killing all the people on the roof that were standing next to the tank, shooting at Zilla.
Remote tanks? Wait, no, it's way too early for drones.
98, brah.
Ah, I see. So, once he jumps into the Hudson River, which, by the way, one of the troops on the bridge there with all those guns, uncredited, the guy who runs the hotel in John Wick.
Oh, another one, huh?
Yep.
Huh, how about that?
It always comes back.
Gosh dang it.
But in the Hudson River are multiple nuclear submarines, which of that class could no way, shape, or form fit in that river. And they shoot torpedoes at Godzilla. Or, sorry, Zilla. Not Godzilla. It's not fucking Godzilla.
Yeah, I know. It's like saying Jeff Hardy. You can't say it. It's Brother Nero.
Brother Nero. He evades them, then leads them into one of the submarines, blowing it up.
Has he played dodgeball before?
He is a champion.
He knows how to dodge, duck, dive, and dodge.
But unfortunately, his luck runs out, and Zilla is hammered by about 4 torpedoes, sending his unconscious body floating to the bottom of the Hudson River with about 800 other bodies from the last 20 years.
Yes.
He's sleeping with the fishes. With this, the French, we come back to the French, and they follow the trail of fish. And they found the end of the trail. And they look up through there, and oh wait, something's crashed through the ground. It's the scoreboard from Madison Square Garden.
What?
That's right, folks. We're at Madison Square Garden.
MSG.
And we climb up, and we find the eggs. So many eggs. Nick was thinking there was going to be like a dozen, maybe 20. There's close to, 200?
Yeah, they were everywhere. I mean, this Zilla must have just gone around the arena and popped a squat everywhere.
I mean, I haven't seen this many eggs laid in the garden since Carmelo in the playoffs.
Oh.
I was thinking more like the Larry Johnson days when, Van Gundy took them to the playoffs and they laid the eggs.
I mean, there's also,
the Spurs and stuff.
You could always go back to when they laid eggs in the 90s of going up against Jordan with Ewing and Starks.
Yeah.
Reggie helped a couple of times with that one.
Choked that, what was it, 11-second game? 11 seconds? Like 15 seconds kind of thing?
15 points in 11 seconds, if I remember right.
Yeah.
The Knicks in the playoffs.
Don't see that often.
Nope, and when it does, it's hilarious. But anyways, they start setting C4 charges on the eggs. They're like, oh, fuck, we do not have enough plastics for this.
Yeah, they were not prepared for that many eggs.
But that's okay, because you have a much larger problem now. The eggs are hatching.
So
of course they are.
So raptors from Jurassic Park are now hatching?
Yeah, basically, yes. Really shittily CGI'd versions.
Oh my god.
And these creatures that are coming out of the eggs look way different than the Zilla.
Yes.
They look like raptors.
Yeah. They look completely different.
Because they know what scene they're trying to rip off at this point.
Blatant rip-off.
Oh, and by the way, guys, we all smell like fish. And we're surrounded by things that only know how to eat fish.
I think they should leave now.
So basically, run.
We're about to die.
So they start running, and some of the French guys start getting picked off, and They run into a big problem here. Okay, so we have to run away and not die, but we also have to keep them all inside this building so they don't get into the city. Oh, this should be fun. What possibly could go wrong? At this point, they all think they've won. The army has. And everybody wants back in New York. And at this point, Dr. Chapman's like, by the way, that fucking nest thing, might want to check into that. And the army's like, okay, we'll take a look. And now we get the chase scene around Madison Square Garden with the Babyzillas and our main characters.
This scene is like 45 minutes.
Okay, here's the thing. When they get to practical effects, it's not horrible. When they actually use practical effects. When it gets to CGI, holy shit, does this get bad.
Like I just said, it's like 45-minute scene. And I honestly felt like this should have been like a 10-minute scene.
Oh, yeah. Victor and Audrey eventually meet up with Nick and Philippe. Philippe wrecks Victor's camera because, no cameras, please. You cannot know that I am here.
I'm very, very sneaky.
They're like, okay, but we still need to let somebody know that, nuke Madison Square Garden. Crap, we can't go by phone. Oh, wait. The TV channel, Channel 12, broadcasts the Rangers games. So let's go up to the TV booth, we can get a message out.
Quick thinking.
So they go up there, they lock themselves in, and they get a hold of the guy from Channel 12 that's in charge of the broadcast. And they get their message out over live television, giving Audrey her chance to be a reporter, Nick explaining the entire situation. And it gets through to the military. He's like, okay, get the F-18s up. We're blowing the shit out of Madison Square Garden.
Not MSG.
Hopefully you got a chance to see Billy Joel in concert there, because you're not going to see it anymore after this. With this, they start more running by going back to where they started in the middle of the court and then leaving again. Eventually, Nick's able to trip up some of the Babyzillas with basketballs, soccer balls, and gumballs. It turns into a Three Stooges skit.
I'm going to be honest. Right about this point, I started to really not pay attention.
Don't worry, I did.
Good.
Well, like
I mean,
said,
this
this
but not...
like 45 minutes long, and it's just like, all right, come on, let's go. At one point, Zen's like, how much longer do we have? And it was 59 minutes.
Here's what I'll tell you, Zen. I still have about 2 pages of notes after this scene.
I understand.
But we are getting towards the end.
Thank goodness.
The
Room is so much better than this movie.
So they run, and they finally get to the main entrance, the lobby of Madison Square Garden. Okay, sweet. We'll just hit the doors, we'll get out of here, we'll lock them, and they'll blow up the building. Oh, shit. There's about 60 Babyzillas and it's just packed. Wall-to-wall Babyzillas. All in shitty CGI.
Oh, it's so bad.
So to make a way down, Philippe shoots the light fixtures off the ceiling to drop down so they have enough of a way to make it through the Babyzillas, out the door, they lock the doors, and they blow up Madison Square Garden with the F-18s.
No!
They blow that thing sky high. This is classic Roland Emmerich in this scene. This is like when he blew up the White House in Independence Day, or when he blew up the Empire State Building in Independence Day.
He blew up the White House and the White House down.
He just wanted to blow up a big national monument and or big a big venue.
Yeah, I mean he is Michael Bay before Michael Bay. So everybody's happy now. Audrey and Nick kiss and make up, and everyone's happy, and the day is saved. And that ends the movie.
Right?
It's over, right?
Except for at this point, Zilla.
But doesn't this scene make it feel like it's over?
Oh yeah, that's the entire point.
Because they do the classic end of the movie, they start panning out and the music starts to play. Like, oh my god, it's over. And then it begins all over again.
If this was a good movie, that'd be a great scene. To do the remix there.
Yeah.
But it's a shitty movie, and everybody just goes, son of a bitch!
No!
So Zilla races from the destroyed Madison Square Garden and looks down at its babies and nuzzles them and notices they're all dead. You have killed all of Zilla's babies.
Damn it!
And he is pissed.
So,
See, that would have worked a lot better if we said she is pissed.
She is pissed.
It's a he.
It is pissed.
I'm going there. Is this Godzilla the Bruce Jenner / Caitlyn Jenner?
It's a little different. It's the fact that it actually...
Okay, so she's Cartman's mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cartman's mom is exactly.
So this is Cartman's mom.
Yes.
So we can this can be known as Cartman's mom from now on.
There you go. So we got the CG Cartman's mom's head chasing them down an alleyway until they finally make it to a taxi, which Philippe hotwires with a knife, and now we get our climactic chase scene. And this is fun because they go through the army trucks.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wait, that was O'Neill. Turn around, go back. And they go back, Zilla slips. And Nick takes the information from the taxi and tosses it to O'Neill so they have a way to communicate. O'Neill's like, oh, yeah, they keep the records for this because I know this somehow. I can find the frequency, and now we can talk to him and we can find out what we're trying to get coordinated here.
He's a very smart soldier.
Zilla tries that same breathe on an existing fire trick again, which is not the atomic breath, and I'm not going to go off on it again for 20 minutes.
Just let it go. Just let it go, Jeff. Let's move on.
Okay. They try, and they're like, okay, we need to trap Zilla. We can do it. Oh, the wires of a suspension bridge. That would work pretty well. What's the nearest suspension bridge? Brooklyn. Cool. Oh, by the way, there was the whole New Yorkers arguing over what route to take inside a New York trick that's been done to death.
Over and over.
It's like they tried to write a Seinfeld episode in some of the dialogue.
Yep.
And it wasn't done well.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that you've hired, 45% of the Simpson cast, not the Seinfeld cast.
I do love The Simpsons, though. And I love Seinfeld. But, they are driving towards the Brooklyn Bridge, but Zilla got ahead of them and crashes through the bridge and eats the taxi, murdering them all. And that's the end of the... Oh, wait, no, they're still alive.
No, really? They started penning out again.
No, the car is sliding backwards down Zilla's throat, and things are not looking well until Nick, barehanded, mind you, grabs a live electrical wire.
Thank you. I have that in my notes. Like, really? And which, by the way, it's still raining out.
Yes. This should have murdered them.
They should have murdered all of them
instantly. But no, he shoves it into Zilla's gum line, which, by the way, ow!
I feel his pain, though.
Fuck. And losing its bite, and they try out of the mouth back onto the Brooklyn Bridge. Somehow the car is still functioning. Zilla chases it down the bridge, eventually getting caught in the cabling. The F-18s fly in and hit it with the missiles. But Zilla still stands.
Come on.
Well, turn around and do it again! They go through a second barrage. And will it stay? Will it stay? By the way, the taxi's now...
Stay on target.
And
Stay
Zilla
on target.
Collapses. On top of the taxi, mind you, after everybody's gotten out of it. Nick walks up, and him and Zilla share a fond farewell glimpse at each other, and the eye shuts, and Zilla is dead.
He dies like Terminator.
Kinda.
Like, if you guys recall the Terminator, when it's just the skull, his eyes are all red, but the eyes dim away.
It's kind of an homage to that and like the original death scene from King Kong.
Yeah.
Not only do we get the close up on the eye, but we for some reason can now hear the heartbeat.
That was weird too.
Yeah.
That was really, really dumb. But the people rejoice. Siskel and Ebert break up. Audrey quits her job. Victor lost the tape.
What?
Well, actually, Philippe calls Nick on the cell phone, says he's got the tape, He'll send it back after doing some editing. Certain things that cannot be seen. And with this, the movie makes its fond farewell. Philippe walks off. Everybody walks into the dreary night. And we cut back to Madison Square Garden.
I want to say this before we hit the finish line. You know what's funny about this movie? Is when
nothing?
No, I know. When they're outside in the rain, and they all have, like, umbrellas and stuff, did you notice that only the main actors had colored? Mm-hmm. So they had both... They all had red umbrellas, but all the extras had black.
I did not notice that, no.
Yeah, so... What? How could you not notice that? They did it twice in this movie.
Yeah. My eyes were so filled with rage, everything went red.
Yeah, so when they have umbrellas and it's pouring down rain, all the actors, main actors, have red, and all the extras have black.
Interesting.
So the finish line, Jeff.
So we cut back to Madison Square Garden, and we find that one egg remains.
Bum, bum, bum.
The late bloomer.
It hatches. Its head comes out into the credits. And again, the destruction of one of the greatest rock songs of all time by a shitty, overrated rapper.
Banana. No.
Come with me.
And that's it. So they've automatically set up the sequel.
2.
Yes, they were going to do 2 more movies. Based in Australia, if I remember right.
Yep.
That didn't happen.
Obviously.
They actually did make reference to it, though. In 2004, it was at Final Wars. Zilla appears in Australia, wreaking havoc. And actual Godzilla shows up and whoops its motherfucking ass in 30 seconds. Murdering it instantly. It is the most one-sided fight in Godzilla history.
So it's Godzilla versus Zilla.
Yes. They actually make reference to it multiple times in Godzilla lore after this.
Well, they make they made a cartoon show of this,
which was actually not horrible. I mean, it was okay.
I kind of remember it, but not really.
Yeah, it was because basically the baby Zilla took Nick as its parent, which is weird. But no,
that would be a better movie than this.
This technically is in the same universe as the actual Toho Godzillas. And it is considered to be basically the bastard of the story.
Right. Which would make sense because this was terrible.
They make reference in, I believe it was Godzilla 2000, which was rushed out very quickly after this, to say, oh, that thing that attacked New York wasn't actually Godzilla. It was something else, but it wasn't the actual Godzilla. And then it gets its ass kicked in 2004. And then it would reappear in the Godzilla video game that came out for the PS4, but that game was a complete piece of shit. And with that, well, this movie, other than just making me angry beyond belief, it's, a lot of people watch it. It came out in its opening weekend and dominated the box office. $44 million opening weekend.
Jesus.
Deep Impact in its third week came in second at $15 million. In its opening week, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas pulled in $3 million to come in number 3. And in its sixth week, Titanic came in at number 4 at $2.9 million. This movie had a budget of $130 million, which actually kind of got increased towards the end of production. Which caused them to try to go overboard, and it didn't work well.
And the director and producer didn't know what to do with the money, so they just started throwing shit into the movie that didn't make any sense. But at that time, they were like, "Yeah, this is great. This is gonna be great."
Domestically, this movie made $136.3 million. Internationally, this movie made $242 million, giving it a grand total of $379 million. Easily making a profit.
You know what's funny is that this movie, I forgot where, like, is a little city in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Made this like 40 million or 50 million by itself.
Yes. But
the new one, 2014, got like half of that. Then they proclaimed that this one is better than that one. In that one city. Yeah.
Well, that one city is wrong.
Yeah, Mama's right.
Very, very wrong. Yeah, this movie's so bad. This actually, there's a funny story about this. I want to say it was the original actor who portrayed Godzilla in the Toho movies, went and saw this movie in theaters and walked out.
Wow.
Saying, no, this isn't Godzilla. They have lost the entire spirit of Godzilla.
This shouldn't have, like I said earlier in this movie shouldn't have been called Godzilla because there's no shape or form that has any reference to this movie besides the radioactive shit.
That and the fisherman on the boat saying Godzilla. Yeah. That's all there is. And that's the thing. It's just, and you know who hates this movie?
Everyone.
Matthew Broderick, Jean Reno, and Henry Shearer. They all hate this movie because it was horribly done. But as for fans who have watched this movie, it's a bit of a mixed bag. IMDb has this actually at a 5.3 out of 10.
That's way too high.
Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave this a 16% rotten. The audience, 28% rotten. So with that being said, it's time for our 5-star match ranking for Godzilla. And I start with you as always, producer Zan. What's your 5-star match ranking for this movie?
I really, really want to give it a 0. But I don't think I can quite go that low. So, 0.5.
0.5. Okay. The Obi-Wan of Filet Mignon. Just Russell, what is your 5-star match ranking for this movie?
0.
Straight 0?
0. As you were saying, and how this is a Godzilla movie and has no features to being a Godzilla. Seeing all the old Godzilla's movie, seeing the new one, this has nothing to do with Godzilla. This is just a iguana broed up.
On steroids.
On steroids. And I honestly, to be honest, as you said the plot of the movie, I honestly forgot watching it. Like where the hell are we as you described where we were at in the movie? I couldn't remember it. I couldn't remember any of the guys' names besides Nick.
Yeah.
I didn't like the chicks in the movie. I didn't like them because they were both annoying. Mm-hmm. Hank, I didn't like Hank. He was annoying.
What, Victor?
Victor, yeah. Because they made him... I felt like they wanted to make him too New York-y. Mm-hmm. So they were badasses in New York, so...
The mix of New York and Mos Sedlak.
Yeah. 0. I'm going to be honest. I think this is the 3rd time I've watched this movie. The first time was when it came out, like at a school, and then maybe when it was on TV once. But this is, I think, my 3rd or 4th time watching this movie, and watching it now and taking notes and trying to pick up any slight small things that I did not notice the first couple times. Just complete shit.
Okay. So it comes down to my 5-star match ranking for Godzilla. Now, here's the thing. Again, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. And I've actually watched this movie 7 or 8 times.
Wow. Down
the years trying to give it another chance. I mean, again, I'm a huge fan of these movies. My gamer tag. One of the reasons my name has Kyojin in there, which is Japanese for giant, is because of the Godzilla movies. Also, I just like to say I'm big in Japan. But when it comes to this movie, -5 stars. I hate this movie with a passion. It tried outright to ruin one of my favorite things. I cannot hate, I think, this more if I tried. They did everything they can to ruin this. And they succeeded in spades.
And I'm going to say this. Out of all 37 movies we've done, I think this is my number 1 on the list of...
Like, least favorite?
Least favorite, yeah.
It's close for me. And it probably is. I'd rather watch Birdemic.
Yeah. I would watch Heartbeat.
I would watch Birdemic.
The Room.
I would watch.
Can't Stop the Music.
I would watch. I would
Barbed
watch.
Wire.
I would watch Can't Stop the Music for like I said last time for The Room a week straight instead of watching this movie one more time.
I cannot put forth how much I hate this movie.
I will watch DC Cab again.
Well, DC Cab was fun.
I will watch Sky Captain.
I love that movie. That was good.
I did not like it. Sky Captain's 2 now on that list of worst movies.
Wow. No, this is hatred, just pure, unadulterated hatred for this movie. If you get a chance to watch other good Godzilla movies or just the fun stuff that's out there, do that. It's much better. Even 2014's better.
2014 is good. I know they're making a sequel to that one, and then down the line,
there's questions on that right now.
Is
It's
there
the
really?
It's actually the head of the production company just stepped down. The CEO of the production company just stepped down. So we're gonna see on that one. Also, the Toho latest release, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
I had a limited release in theaters. Unfortunately, I was not able to see it in the 2 days it was brought here.
Yeah.
As soon as that comes out on Blu-ray, I'll admit I'm blind buying it. But I've heard good things.
They're also going to be doing rumor is Godzilla versus King Kong.
About to say with the new Kong Skull Island that's coming out this year, they're supposed because they're in the same universe, and also the fact that that's the same universe as Pacific Rim. We'll see what happens there. Of course, you can give us your thoughts on this piece of shit movie by getting to us on the Twitter at NoCellENT. We're also on Instagram at NoCellENT, Snapchat NoCellPodcast, Facebook.com/NoCellEntertainment, NoCellPodcast at gmail.com, NoCellPodcast at gmail.com. You can also rate, subscribe, and follow us on SoundCloud and iTunes. You can also now follow us on the YouTubes.
On the YouTube.
Is it just youtube.com/NoCellEntertainment?
No.
What is it?
It's more complicated.
Oh, it's actually more complicated?
YouTube, I'm still figuring it out, guys.
Okay. So if you go to YouTube, put in No Cell Entertainment, you'll find us.
You'll find us.
Okay.
We're the only ones.
And, of course, you can follow us individually on the Twitter. Zen.
At producers and
Joe.
At Sheen Machine 23.
And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at TheMacTheNAACK for all things Kaiju. Including Kaiju Big Battle 2017. I will watch it this year.
will you?
I'm going out of my way to try to find Kaiju Big Battle and watch it this year. I missed it last year. I couldn't find it in time, and there was a weird thing with the website afterwards for some reason. But I will watch it this year, because hopefully Koto Ibushi's also wrestling it.
Well, I do know what you'll be watching next week, so why don't you let fans know what's up next on the queue?
So next up on the queue, I did not know this was going to happen, and once we found out this was available, we had to do it right away.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, next week on the queue, we're going to go back to actually the year of my birth, 1983.
50? No, 53, okay.
No, 1983, as we see the incredible Lou Ferrigno.
Why is it incredible?
Because, I mean, come on, when you think Lou Ferrigno, you think incredible.
I think of I Love You Man now. No.
Well, you know what you're going to think about next week?
What?
Hercules.
Anybody want a peanut?
What?
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 That's Andre the Giant, darling.
That was the Princess Bride.
And Andre the Giant. And you
It's
said
Fezzik.
And you said
And I didn't say it in the right accent, I know. Guys, it's late.
Anybody want a peanut?
Thank you, and with that being said, for producer Zen, for the Sheen Machine Joseph Lessel, for the wonderful people at Toho Studios, I am the Onitoshi Jeff Mack. Arigato gozaimasu.